What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and today we are going to be doing another episode of How Good Is, a series designed to make you a better Call of Duty player. Today we're going to be looking at something that there is a lot of misconceptions based around, and that is FMJ. Now, normally we look at weapons or specialist characters, but today it just so happens to be attachments. So this one is big because I think a lot of people have misconceptions about FMJ, and I want to clear all of them up in this video. So guys, before we get into the stats of this video, I just would really quickly like to say thank you guys so much. The past 5 videos I've uploaded have all reached well over 1,000 likes, and I want to see if we could keep that train going. Let's see if we can get this video over 1,000 likes. So I only ask if you enjoy the video to hit that like button. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy, and let's talk about FMJ. So to fully understand this, what we're going to do is first of all, look at how exactly FMJ works and the misconceptions behind it. Then we're going to look at the stats, and then we're going to look at the best cases to use it. So the biggest, largest, massive misconception about FMJ is that it increases damage. FMJ does not, in any case scenario, increase damage. The only thing it does is increase penetration through surfaces. Now, I'm sure you'll hear your friends say, or people that don't know as much about Call of Duty as you, they'll say, well, when you equip FMJ in-game, it shows the damage bar going up. Yes, it shows you that. That's not actually what it does. So now we understand what FMJ doesn't do. Now let's understand what it does do. So there's 2 parts of this. First of all, there's the weapon itself. So there's 4 different types of penetration. No penetration, low, medium, and high. Super plain, super simple, no numbers attached to it whatsoever. On top of that, there's a thickness of a surface. So for that, there is 5 different things. First of all, shooting through no surface whatsoever. Shooting through a light surface, something like glass, something that'll break when you shoot through it anyway. Shooting through a medium surface, which is something like a plaster wall. This is something you'll see like on Nuketown. Whenever you shoot through a wall on Nuketown, that's like a medium surface. Then heavy surfaces, that's stuff like barrels and trash cans, things you'll notice reasonably stop a lot of bullet damage. And then finally, impossible surface. This includes things in Black Ops 3, including rocks, and for some goddamn reason, banana leaves. I'm not kidding. Go ahead. Try it. You cannot shoot through banana leaves in this game. Why? Don't ask me. I didn't make the game. Alright, so you understand that. You think it's easy? Well, there's one more part to it. So it also depends on the angle you shoot at. So if you're shooting directly at a surface, perpendicular to that surface, that will deal the most possible damage through that surface. Now, the more of an angle you shoot at towards that wall, the less damage will actually go through the wall. Simple enough. Alright, so knowing this, we can now determine exactly what FMJ does. So FMJ increases your weapon's penetration level by 1 level. For example, let's take the Vesper. The Vesper's normal penetration level is low. Now, when you put FMJ on, it bumps it up to medium. Same goes with something like the KN-44, a weapon that does medium penetration. If you put KN-44 with FMJ, you all of a sudden have a KN-44 with high penetration. Simple enough, well, it does something else. It also makes the angle you are shooting at a target more negligible. So, the angle that you're on doesn't matter nearly as much when you have FMJ on. It's almost like shooting exactly like you're perpendicular, like we talked about before. So, all in all, it increases the penetration level by 1, and on top of that, it makes shooting at a target from an angle negligible. It does both of those things. So something I forgot to mention there, if you're using a weapon with high penetration, if you use FMJ on that weapon, it will jump up to another level. It will still deal more damage through walls. It won't just stop at high penetration. It's like there's a next level, but the only way to get there is through using FMJ. There's no weapons that are already at that level. Next up, we got to understand what are the different levels of penetration for different weapons. So we'll start off with the lowest and work our way to the highest. Starting off with shotguns. Shotguns apparently have no penetration. I've seen it happen, get penetration kills. I think what they mean is they have so little penetration, it's almost negligible. Also, the new energy weapons, i.e. the Banshee and the Rift E9, have absolutely no penetration whatsoever. Moving up next, we got SMGs. SMGs have medium penetration except for the Vesper. The Vesper is the only weapon with low penetration. Literally, the only one. Up next, assault rifles. Assault rifles all have medium penetration except for the Shiva and the MX Grand. Both of those weapons have high penetration. After that, we have snipers. Snipers are all high penetration. And finally, LMGs. LMGs are the confusing one because they're half and half. Gorgon and Dredge are heavy penetration. BRM and Dingo are medium penetration. Now that we know that, when are the useful situations to use FMJ? Well, in my opinion, there is only 2. First of all, with the Vesper. Vesper is actually really good and kind of important to use. Why? Vesper's penetration is the only weapon that is low. What this means is the only surface you're really going to be able to get kills through is pretty much glass and some plywood. Whereas every other weapon in the game, you can get kills through walls, like the medium thickness walls, something like plaster. If you're playing on a map like Nuketown, almost every wall is that medium penetration, so every other gun is going to have a leg up on you. So, using it with the Vesper bumps it to that medium penetration, and finally you're useful at shooting through walls. If you don't, anytime an enemy is head glitching against you, you're almost automatically going to lose that fight with the Vesper unless you can pick their head. Another situation where the FMJ is actually good is something we haven't talked about yet. FMJ actually does additional damage to score streaks. Yes, any score streak, you deal more damage while using FMJ. 3 to 4 times more damage depending on what weapon you're using. So with this, if you have a class only for taking out score streaks, like you got a rocket launcher on it, and then something like a Gorgon or a Dredge, because they already have increased penetration, throw FMJ on there and you'll do even more damage to that score streak. So when taking out score streaks and on a Vesper, I think are the only 2 times it's really good. Why do I say the only 2 times though? The reason why I say this is because a lot of the time I think FMJ just isn't good enough to make the cut. What I mean by this is when creating a class, you only have 10 slots. It's a pick 10 system, so you have 10 slots to make a class. I don't think FMJ is good enough to knock something out of my class like Sixth Sense, or to knock something out of my class like Quick Draw. Something like that is just much more important in one of my classes than to have FMJ. That being said, if you're using a weapon and you like using a lot of attachments on the weapon, this is definitely one you may consider using. Also, on top of that, if you find that you're dying to a lot of people that are behind head glitches, this may be actually a pretty damn good attachment for you, because just with the way you play the game, you may get in a lot of those gunfights. I don't tend to, but you might. So what do I think of this attachment? I give it like a 5.5 out of 10. The reason why I say that is because it does help you out. It will help you win the occasional gunfight, but it's not something like Quick Draw that's going to help you out in every single gunfight you get into. It's only going to help you when they're head glitching or when they run behind a wall or something like that. Whereas other things like Quick Draw will literally help you in every single gunfight. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you use FMJ? What do you think of FMJ? Do you think I was right about it? Let me know all of that down in the comment section below. And if this video helped you out, it would be fantastic if you could leave a like rating. It would be awesome if we could get this thing over 1,000 likes. That would really, really help out the channel. Also, if you're new to the channel and you like what you saw here, I upload new Call of Duty videos every single day of the week. And if that sounds like something that interests you, that red subscribe button down below is sitting there with your name on it, so check that out. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I love every single one of you, and until next time, peace out.